Hello, in this lesson, we are going to have, I'm just going to have an overview for the midterm. I think you might like that. So far in this semester, we covered from, the mathematical principles. So let me start with the module, right? So pretty much, right, in the first week, we covered math principles, math, all of these concept, function, definition of function, one-to-one function, and the composition of one-to-one functions. So all of these concept, right? Increasing, decreasing, even odd functions, they are going to be covered. They're going to be covered, okay? In particular, right? We covered those functions that the functions we have studied, right? So these functions, I'm going to enumerate them. Let's see how many, wait. Right, so these functions, I think that should be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these functions are the function f of x equals to constant, right? F of x equals to x. F of x equals to x squared. And f of x equals to x raised to the power of 3, these basic functions, right? And f of x equals to absolute value of x. Absolute value of x. F of x equals to square root of x, right? F of x equals to x raised to the power root 3x. Okay, these basic functions. And what else? The reciprocal functions. Okay, reciprocal functions, 1 over x. This is the first group of function we studied, and we studied about these functions definition, one-to-one function, whether they're one-to-one function or not, and also their increasing, decreasing, and when they're increasing, when they're decreasing, and so on and so forth, and even odd properties. Okay, continue. So you can see all of these are rule of functions, right? All of these are rule of functions. And then we go ahead to study the function, the exponential function. Okay, 2 to the power x, 3 to the power x, and e to the power x, right? And then the log base 2x, right? We have done these summaries multiple times during the, during our studies. So periodically we already had some, reviews of summaries, and so you can study those. But overall, we're still focusing on these functions, about their domain range, all those properties, right? And of course, also 10 to the power x, we actually did not do this in detail, right? You can infer about this, about the properties, okay? Common log x. We will study them again in a different capacity after the midterm. And the next will be just sine x, cosine x, right? Cosine x, tangent x, cotangent x, cotangent x, okay? Arc sine, okay, arc sine, we sometimes use this notation. Okay, arc sine, right? And arc cosine, which we use this notation. Also read the same, okay, arc cosine, arc tan, which is tan, which is, we use arc tan, this written this way, and arc cotangent x, which is cotangent using this notation. All right, secant, cosecant, okay. I would say secant, cosecant is also studied, but cosecant x and secant x. Okay, we studied so many functions, right? We understand all of these are just rules. They're just rule of functions. And all of these functions takes inputs, right? Takes inputs and produces outputs. And they're all rule of functions. So different rules. And we studied 1 to 1, increasing, decreasing, even, odd, etc., etc. Okay, domain and range along the way, graphs. That's all we have studied this in these past 8 weeks. Okay, of course, in week number 8, we have some additional studies, which is, you know, composition in different order, right? So if you look at the contents, right, we go on with week 4, you can see apply trig function, just ARD for trig. We certainly spend most of the time on trigonometry functions, okay? And I have these written documents over there so you guys can read about it. The graph of cosine, arc cosine, and all the quizzes, okay? I'm gonna make the quiz solutions of the quizzes available for you, okay? So quiz number, wait, I think I'm showing you, let me show you Math 180. Okay, they're all very similar, right? All of these functions. Just study all of these contents, And summary has been done, you know, periodically. Okay, summary has been done periodically. And you have the whole week to study, to do the quiz, to do the midterm exam, sorry, to do the midterm exam. And the midterm exam will be available at the end of the week. I would say Friday, because I'm going to give you time to study these materials, okay, these materials in week number 8. If you have any question, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, so let's go back to these functions, right? So what about these functions, right? Domain, range, okay? The different ways, the various ways to express the domain, if there's any, okay? And the various ways to express range, okay? For any particular function, for any of these functions, right? We study domain, range, graph. So domain, range, graph. Is it 1-to-1? Right? If yes, if it is 1-to-1, what is the inverse? Right? And for 1-to-1 function and its inverse, we also study that property. So if 1-to-1, if it is 1-to-1, right, if we have a one-to-one function and its inverse, right, is the inverse, right? So we have the following properties, and that following property we have explained, right? So this property and the next, okay, and the next one, even though they're both called axes, we use this property for many situations, right? We use this property for many situations. For some of these one-to-one functions on the first row, and these one-to-one functions on the second row, and their inverses, right? And also they should apply here. And how we construct the arcsine, arccosine, arctangent, arccotangent. So those compositions are specially studied. And of course, those are going to be on the exam, right? So these axes, even though they call by the same name, but that they're merely placeholder. So X should belongs to the domain of the function that is applied to X the first. So in this case, it will be F inverse. Okay, and the next one. So this property is used multiple times. And in the second identity, where X is going to be from the domain of F, right? So F, you know, these axes are merely placeholder. And this property, okay, has been applied to many one-to-one function, many one-to-one functions, right? So, and has been emphasized during our lectures that these properties are being applied. The other source of review, I would say review all the quizzes. Review the quizzes. Okay, and their solutions. And their solutions will be available from Monday through right before until the time when the midterm starts. The midterm starts. Okay, so up to the midterm starts, and the solution to the quizzes will be closed. Okay, so just be aware of that. Homework will always be available. Okay, homework is another source. It's another source of your review material. Okay, homework is another source of your review material. So make sure you do your homework. Be sure you do your homework. Okay, all the exam material, all the questions on the exam are going to be about lectures, quizzes, and homework. Okay, and if you have any questions, and there's no quiz in the week of 8, in week number 8. So this week there's no homework. Week number 8. Okay, And no quiz on week number 8, and your midterm exam. Midterm will be available. Friday. Okay, so get ready, review. And if you have any questions, then please don't hesitate. And I'm going to make the quiz solution available to you as soon as possible. Actually, it will be sooner than Monday. And you just need to study. Okay. And if you have any questions, so please, and before the midterm starts, if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Okay. Midterm exam will be available Friday, and you have 3 attempts. Okay, it's due the 17th of April. 17th of April, of course, 11:59 p.m. As always. All right. I think, did I leave anything out? I don't think I left anything out. Okay. So the entire semester, we're half semester, right? And besides the mathematical principles, the truth tables, and so on and so forth. So of course, those will be on the exam as well. We've been talking about functions. We've been talking about all of these functions. Okay, so let me put math principles as math principles. Okay, truth tables, right? Truth tables and math grammar, right? Grammar and those basic things, right? Has been talked about at the beginning of the semester. So we're mid-time during the semester. So everything we covered, it will be tested, and you should review everything and make sure you understand everything. Domain, range, graphs is a 1-to-1, right? And then if it's, I'm missing out on the other things, increasing, right? Decreasing. What else? Even, odd, right? Even, odd, or neither. So we've been discussing these topics throughout, right? Even, odd, or neither, right? So all of these are the properties we've been studying about all of these functions, So we merely just studying primarily the rules, right? Input, output. What is the input? What is the output, right? So you need to be very clear about, for these functions, right? For these functions, what kind of quantities are input, right? And for these functions, what kind of quantities are input? What kind of quantities are output, right? So the ARD and so on and so forth. Okay, I think my lectures have been pretty clear. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I think that's all for this lesson. Study hard and you'll be rewarded. Okay, thank you for watching. Until next time.